Hello students, in this presentation we discuss intermittent diseases, the typical intermittent diseases of febrile type. So the first variety of all out of four varieties we discuss here the first type, the epidemic or sporadic type of fever. So intermittent fevers which are sporadic or epidemic. What is the situation? Every paroxysm has two opposite stages, cold and heat, or heat and cold stage, or three opposite stages, cold, heat and sweat stage. Remedy is selected, not antisoric remedy which has capacity to produce similar alternating states of two stages or three stages during proving on healthy provers. So a similimum is selected which covers these stages and not necessary antisoric remedy is given. All these stages are pointing to selection of remedy. Patient's health in between the stage of fever is the most important pointer for selection of remedy. So this aspect is also important, how patient is feeling or having the state of health in between the stage of paroxysm is also the most important pointer for selection of remedy. So in this situation, similimum is selected which covers these alternating stages and not necessary antisoric remedy is prescribed. So the this variety intermittent fevers which are sporadic or epidemic variety. So we go further. Footnote to aphorism number 235. Again discussion of epidemic or sporadic type of fever. So it was ague in the past as one single intermittent fever with few varieties as recurrence of paroxysm, quotidian, tertian or quarantine type. So they are recurring every day, alternate day or 2 days. Only heat or cold stage with or without sweat stage or only feeling cold on the surface or after cold or hot stage there is a pyrexial stage or there is only sweat stage or no sweat stage at all. So this was the presentations of the fever and this recurred with certain time duration, say every day or alternate day. So symptoms such as bad taste in mouth, nausea, vomiting, want of thirst or excessive thirst, body pain, delirium, temper alteration or weakness, all these symptoms are also important. They require different homeopathic medicine. Cinchona bark, that is sulfate of quinine, was given for recurring fevers. So usually this was the case that the sulfate of quinine was prescribed. But in few cases it was not helpful and caused the cinchona bark dyscrasia and health was not restored. Here the point is that it is not that in all the cases cinchona is indicated. So the in the past they have used the sulfate of quinine, they means the old school physicians, and this caused the bark dyscrasia because the quinine must not have been given in the small minute dose and health was not restored. So this is the observation which is noted by Dr. Hahnemann. So it means that every fever has its own peculiarity in every individual with respect to presence of heat, cold and sweat stage. One stage may be intensified or one stage may be absent. So we see the second footnote of 235 fifth aphorism. that Dr. Bonninghausen in 1833 wrote a book on therapeutics of intermittent fever. So clear-cut guidelines are being given in this type of fever. Guidance is given how to choose the remedy in various types of intermittent fever. We go further with the 236th aphorism, again describing the epidemic or sporadic type of fever. The time of administration is discussed in this aphorism. So, very soon after the termination of paroxysm, the remedy is prescribed. If the remedy is prescribed before the fever paroxysm, then it may coincide with the natural disease course of heat state. So causes violent aggravation and can be fatal. Example is opium is given in cold stage and patient died. So this was the observations noted, and because opium was prescribed in the cold stage, patient lost his life. So the remedy is given at the termination of paroxysm in the apyrexial phase to avoid the aggravation. Vital force is in good condition to receive the similimum and gets altered and is thus restored. So 236th aphorism tells us the time of administration of remedy in the epidemic or sporadic type of fever is very soon after the termination of paroxysm. So we go further. Aphorism number 237, that is again the continuation of discussion of epidemic or sporadic type of fever. Time of administration. If the stage of fever is short, then give the medicine when sweat stage starts abating. So if the stage of fever is short, then when to give, that when the sweat stage starts abating, can prescribe the remedy. So it is given in the declining phase. When the fever starts decreasing, declining phase of paroxysm, you can administer the remedy. So aphorism number 238, again the discussion continues on epidemic or sporadic type of fever. So the single dose often destroys the several attacks of fever. Single dose of similimum destroys the several attacks of fever. So another dose may be required to be given to cure. So single dose usually will cure the attack of fever, and sometimes another dose may be required to be given to cure. Here the reference is given of aphorism number 270, where new dynamization method Dr. Hahnemann has given. So each dose is given in the dynamic form. In the successive doses are dynamized. So these LM potencies are being prescribed in this way. That is the new dynamization method. So that remedy can be given in repetitions. If fever returns may be due to staying in marshy regions. If this fever returns, it may be that patient is staying in marshy region, and here the patient is asked to go to stay in the dry mountainous climate. So the 238 aphorism gives us the instruction that the similimum is given in the single dose, and the time of administration we already saw, it is at the declining phase of fever or when the fever stage abates. And 238 tells us that Hahnemann has clearly given the instruction, give single dose. If required, can repeat another dose, or you can give it as which is discussed in the aphorism number 270, that the dynamizing the each successive dose. So aphorism number 239, describing the epidemic or sporadic type of fever. Again the discussion continues. Every medicine produces peculiar fever. We already saw even in the mental diseases that while we are prescribing the medicine, it should be clearly understood, clearly analyzed that this medicine has been able to produce same symptom in the case of mental symptoms in the prover, and as well this point is same which is repeated here, that every medicine should produce peculiar fever. All the three stages, cold, heat, sweat stage, observed in the particular individual must be similarly produced in the prover. So that remedy acts as a simillimum. So remedy, it is not that all the cases of intermittent fever will be requiring China or it will be requiring Eupatorum. It is not that. So as it is mentioned in the previous aphorisms, that the importance of the symptoms such as the taste in the mouth, importance of symptoms such as patient feeling no thirst or excessive thirst or weakness or the bitter taste or the salty taste or increased salivation or feeling excessive chilliness in the stages of fever or in the pyrexial state, all these aspects of the symptoms of the individual are important, and the medicine should be selected which has capacity to produce same symptoms in the prover, and that remedy acts as curative. Thus the matching must be done of the remedy referring to homeopathic materia medica, then only it will act curative. So there are vast number of homeopathic remedies which cover various states of fever. So the number of remedies are available which will cover various states of fever. So for many types of fever, moderate number of medicines cover all the variety of fevers. So there is no shortage of medicines in the homeopathic materia medica. So for example, we already have knowledge of medicines such as thirst increase for small quantity of water. We can think of arsenic. Thirst is increased with salivation. We can think of Merxol. Thirstlessness, we can think of gelsemium and pulsatilla. Feeling excessive chilly in all the stages of fever, we can think of nux vomica. So all these remedies are very important, and all these symptoms as well as symptoms of pyrexia and general symptoms of the patient must be covered by that medicine. Then it acts as a curative. So the 240th aphorism, that is the last aphorism in today's presentation, the same variety of fevers, epidemic or sporadic type of fever. If in the prevalent epidemic fever, homeopathic specific remedy is not curative, patient is not under the influence of martiaria, then the soric miasm is in the background, and at this time you give antisoric remedy which will bring cure. Or otherwise, in this first aphorism of today's presentation, in the 235th aphorism, Dr. Henneman has clearly mentioned that this short variety of fever, sporadic or epidemic, you have to prescribe similimum, and not necessarily you have to give antisoric remedy, but if the epidemic fever is repeating again and again in the patient, or it is the similimum is not curative and patient is not staying in the marshy area, then you think of soric miasm is in the background, and antisoric remedy will bring cure. So this was all for today's discussion. So we have discussed the first variety of a epidemic or sporadic type of fever. So this is the first variety of febrile diseases, and remaining three will be discussing subsequently. Thank you.